Ooh boy, what a time to be alive, people. Our timeline is so freaking wacky right now. We have Kanye apparently running for president, which is total bollocks, by the way. Plus, we're throwing in Nick Fuentes and Milo as well, because why not? So Kanye released this video, post having a dinner at Mar-a-Lago. So let's watch.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence.
You know, I'll give Kanye credit for one thing. He does a fantastic job at making himself a deeply unlikable, insufferable pillock. I'm amazed he hasn't gotten his ass kicked for being, well, himself, really. The man parades around like he has big dick energy, but the only thing he can fuck is himself, especially when he says dumb shit like that. So according to Trump, Kanye called him, and Trump invited him over. So Kanye, you already knew he was running for president, and you walked into his home and asked him to be your vice president, and you speak of walking in there with intelligence. That is a level of disrespectful arrogance I can't even fathom. Kanye should thank whatever god he prays to that Trump didn't kick his teeth down his throat.
So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist.
Okay, Trump is impressed with him. What the hell does that mean? And if he's a Trump loyalist, why is he there with you when you're supposedly also running for president? Unless he was just using you to get closer to Trump.
When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from.
Okay, explain something to us here, genius. If you're apparently running for president, which I don't believe, why are you trying to give Trump what sounds like campaign advice? It makes no sense. As far as January 6th goes, I don't know the timeline or what Trump was capable of doing at the time.
He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a and you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children.
Who gives a shit? Your wife is famous for banging a rapper before you. And by that I mean before Kanye banged her, not before he banged the same rapper, because kind of sounds like that's what I'm implying. You don't have an eye for quality. No one thinks the Kardashians are a family worthy of any emulation, by the way. Hell, many see the fact that the Kardashians are famous at all as a sign of civilization's decline. I happen to be one of those people, by the way. You walked into his house and apparently said you're running for president, and then you seem surprised that he's pissed off. That is, if your sequence of events are in fact true, and I don't think they are.
Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible.
What the hell does that even mean?
When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Perfect. Someone needs to hand that dude at the end a rag or something to clean the shit off his face. Seeing as he's so far up Kanye's asshole, the man can use his tonsils as a dummy. Or a pacifier for you, Yank. Seriously, the ending was cringe. Okay, I'm editing the video just now, so I have to add this bit in. Is that Milo? Because if it is, I didn't even freaking recognize him. Now, Trump also released a statement. Kanye West was asking for advice concerning some of his difficulties, in particular having to do with his business. We also discussed, to a lesser extent, politics, where I told him he should definitely not run for president. Any voters you may have should vote for Trump. I don't know why Trump is referring to himself in the third person, but anyway. Anyway, we got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism, because of course Trump has to say that, and I appreciate all of the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I didn't know Nick Fuentes. Also said Kanye unexpectedly showed up with 3 friends whom Trump knew nothing about. They had dinner on the back patio. Dinner was quick and uneventful. Then I heard some BS about there was a large group of people trying to get their picture taken with Kanye, not so much with Trump. Which is not a surprise, by the way. The vast majority of Kanye's fans are not into politics. They like him in spite of his association with Trump, not because of it. And if they are on Trump's property, I'm not surprised why he wants them all to piss off. Now, as far as my reaction goes, that is to what Kanye said in the video. But do I believe a word of what Kanye said? Hell no. The man's a lunatic. He lives in his own bloody world. Frankly, I think Milo and Fuentes are just using him to get closer to Trump and maybe make a buck or two out of the whole thing in the process. Which leads me to the three stooges involved in this bizarre timeline that scream shady: Kanye, Milo, and Fuentes. Now, what do these men and Milo have in common? Trump made all of them big or bigger. And you see this the way the media's trying to spin the reports on this stupid crap. It's a distraction, pure and simple. It's yet another lame-ass attempt by the piss-weak and petrified uniparty machine to bring Trump down a peg and the hell away from the White House. It is a move of sheer desperation. Kanye, you can probably guess my take based on what I've said so far. I actually want to do a separate video on him specifically because there is an element of Kanye's personality that, in my opinion, makes him the avatar of everything that is wrong with Western society these days. But anyway, let's try and analyze Kanye's play over here, because the main sort of antagonist in this little scenario, this little episode over here, is himself and little Fuentes. Now, how the hell Fuentes ever came in contact with Kanye West, who the hell knows, but I somehow doubt Mr. I walked in there with intelligence didn't do his homework on him. And then again, you never know. Kanye doesn't exactly come across as a bright bloke, more the firing from the hip, spray and pray sort of chap. Now, if you're familiar with the guy, given how the media reacted to the Leo the Dorco that is Fuentes, you can see the transparency that is their angle. We're back again with the white supremacy shtick. That didn't work the first time around a year ago, hasn't worked since, so why the hell they think it's gonna work now, that's anybody's guess. And if that was Kanye's play, not exactly a very thoroughly well-planned one, all it did was come off as an attempt to burn the bridge while giving the legacy media a green light to try and smear Trump with a label that hasn't worked in the better part of a decade. Regardless, it makes Kanye look like a self-serving, egotistical asshole. Then, of course, we have Nick Fuentes, who frankly is an irrelevant little dweeb, and I cannot unhear the racial and sexual slurs leveled at him by Mr. America. Funniest shit I've seen in ages. And lastly, we've got Milo, who is a grifting He is a controversial, self-described attention seeker. He will gravitate towards the nucleus that radiates attention like a fly to shit, because that is what he is. He is a shit stirrer. He is an uber narcissist who has no principles whatsoever. I remember him on Tim. He claimed Trump has that spark of magical energy and he has some of that. I just laughed. No, you don't, kid. You can suck yourself off as much as you want, but you don't have nearly that kind of star power, and you never will. Milo doesn't make any waves, he rides them. There's a reason why after Trump attained office, Milo fell off the radar, because he is a counterfigure. He is nothing but a cultural gimmick. And now that Trump has declared he's running, he and the rest want to feed off Trump again. They want to recreate the mid-2010s because they're nothing but a bunch of parasites. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.